Alright, so it's Josh with JE Vintage Minis in Orlando, Florida. This is going to be the third video on this bike. We're doing the CHP top end kit amongst some other things that I'm doing around. So check out the first two videos where I prepped the clutch and did some painting in preparation for me to get to the top end. So we'll go ahead and just start on getting this engine top end removed, and that's the kit that comes from CHP. I do have a video on comparing the CHP 88 kit with TBparts kit. I'll put the link in the video. So let's get at it. So this kit, it comes with a jug. The CHP kit comes with a jug and a cylinder head and a new carb from them. So just a good thing to do is probably flush your tank before you put all those new parts on. I would just run some gas through your tank and clean out. And these are plastic tanks, so you're not going to have any rust in it, but just get the old varnish or anything that's in the old fuel lines. Just get that flushed out before. And just another thing I would recommend doing is probably just cleaning all, if you have any soil or debris on this case in this area, because we're going to be pulling this jug back off. Just use before you take anything apart, let's get that blown out, get all this dust and grime and stuff as clean. Get this area as clean as you possibly can, because we don't want anything getting back into the motor. Alright, so gas tank's flushed out. I cleaned all the debris off the top of the engine and on the jug and stuff, just to make sure I have a cleaner work condition. I'm going to pull off the carb and intake manifold and air box off first, and then that's going to let me get the cylinder head off next. So get your acorn nuts off the cylinder head studs, take off your side cover, access to your sprocket for your cam chain, and then you're going to want to undo your 14mm bolt here, which has a plunger for the chain tensioner. So get the plunger out, which will take tension off this chain and allow us to get this off. So before I pull it off, I'm gonna actually get on here with like a Dremel and some brass wire wheels. Hey buddy. Good, man. And you know, it's good to have like a variety pack of these for your Dremel. It's got like a smaller tipped, so I'm gonna come in on over here and clean this all out before I take this jug off. But I'm going to try and get this polished up and then go underneath the engine a little bit and get this more presentable. Alright, so I got that all cleaned up and a light polish. The head can come off now. Just turn your wheel, gives you a little more clearance. Turn it, drop. You know, you got your drop fender, so it should just come right off. It's a good head, so clean motor, so this is not giving me any problems pulling this thing apart. And then the next thing is your jug. I'll loosen that up a little bit and then I'll pull it. Jug came off with some persuasion from a dead blow hammer. I got the piston. I'm going to get the wrist clips out and get the wrist pen, pull my piston off the rod, stuffed it with some saran wrap. I'm going to keep that in there for the remainder of the job until I'm ready to put the top end back on. Next up is this gasket removal process here. So just use a flat blade, take your time, don't gouge it, and of course keep your safety backer in so you don't get any gasket falling inside your crankcase. That's about 30 minutes at least of gasket scraping, so my favorite job. Also, when you pull the factory head, if you can, get your reuse your dowels. These are the dowels that go on the studs. You have two that go to the crankcase and jug, and two that go from the jug to the cylinder head. The smaller one that you see, there's two sizes. The smaller one is 12mm. That one goes on the crankcase to cylinder or to jug. and then the larger 14mm length one goes jug to cylinder. If you're unsure, well, I'd just say if your motor looks pretty crusty, go ahead and order these, because chances are that some of them get seized in the seized into the cylinder head and jug, and then if you try to pull them, they get deformed. And this is the CHP jug, 88cc jug. The comes in silver. I'm going to paint it with the high temp black. That's one thing I would say, if CHP, it was their way to do it, was if they're going for the stock package look and everything, make sure that your jug comes black. Maybe that's something they can consider down the road. Alright, got my first coat of black on it. I'm going to flip it and kind of come from different angles. Fin areas, sometimes challenging to get in there. Notice that the aluminum doesn't take the black paint in the fins too well, but might need to get a little heavy in that area. Alright, so I got my rings on my piston, and I'm going to get this installed on the connecting rod on the engine here, okay? Piston's on, just make sure your intake valve's facing up. I'll put a link in the summary of this video how to put your rings on, and I'll get the gaps in the right place. Alright, this is a note for the CHP kit. Their kit is different on this design here, and they use just a one-piece gasket. No O-ring needed here or over here. Just the gasket only, then the cylinder head goes on. So everything's buttoned up on the end. I got everything assembled here. Got top end all buttoned up, carbs on, new sprocket chain. Got my side covers back on. Last thing I'm going to do is get this exhaust. I'm going to polish it up and see if I can't get some of this rust off before we put it back on, and put my engine guard on. And then next video, this is going to be the conclusion of this video. Then the last video on this bike, I'll have it all cleaned up, do the aesthetic stuff that I was going to do, and then I'll do a ride and a review on the CHP kit. Thanks for following, guys.